for joining. All right, so thank you for joining me for your workplace mobility sessions. I am Melissa. I am your host for these weekly sessions. I am an athletic therapist, a newly certified massage therapist, and I have my master's degree in exercise science. So the intent of these sessions is to just increase your movement and your mobility on a weekly basis through these. So the one thing that I want you guys to remember before we get started is this stoplight theory. So for the stoplight theory, the green zone is where movement just kind of occurs really naturally, flows really well, it happens really easy. That's a great zone to be in. The other zone is the yellow zone, is where a movement or a stretch kind of gives you a good hurt or it feels good. That's a great zone as well. I want you to stay into one of those two zones. So either the green zone or the yellow. And then the red zone. Red zone is when you're doing a stretch where it causes some numbness, tingling, or burning. Back off. You're going a little bit too far. Okay, so pick whatever zone that you want to be in, but always remember to listen to your body first, me second, and you can't go wrong. All right, so for today's session, we just need a little bit of space. We are going to start off with one of my favorite movements. It is called the tail wag. So you're going to start off in this position with your knees together on your toes, and then I want your shoulders over your hands, okay? So make sure your knees are together. And we're just gonna sway. So drop your hips to one side, and then I want you to look for your heels. You will feel a stretch on your hips on the opposite side. So sway to the other side, and then just do this at your own speed, and it should feel pretty good. If you wanna hold that C or that sway or that drop to one side, that's good too. So let's just sway together from side to side a few times before we get started into some other movements. Feels pretty good. I like this one. And then wherever you are, let's just do 5 more. So let's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so now we're gonna stay in this position, but I want you to spread your knees and go your knees hip width apart. Okay, so same thing, shoulders over your wrist, hips over your knees, and we're gonna do some T-spine rotation. So let's put our left hand behind our head. Your right hand is pushing actively into the ground, and we're gonna rotate towards the ceiling and then back down. And then again, rotate towards the ceiling and then back down. And again, just flow at your own speed. There doesn't need to be a consistent number. And again, make sure that right hand is actively pushing into the ground and back down. And rotate. Wherever you are, let's do 3 more. So this is 1, 2, and 3. Switching sides. Okay, so same thing. Let's go shoulder over wrist, hips over knees. And let's put our right hand behind our head and rotate towards the ceiling. If you guys are paying attention, this side is a lot harder for me to do as opposed to rotating to the left. Normal is being able to get your elbow pointed directly towards the ceiling. I'm struggling with that today. And again, just make sure that left hand is actively pushing into the ground the entire time. Don't bend that elbow. And let's do 3 more wherever you are. So 1, 2, and 3. Woo. Nice little warm up for the upper back there. All right, so now we're gonna move on to the lower body. Okay, so let's everyone put your left leg out. You're gonna have your weight on your hands for me. And then now I want you to shift back and sit on that right heel as you rotate that left foot towards the ceiling. You will feel a nice stretch on that left hamstring or inside muscle as well. Come back onto your hands for me, and then shift back, and then onto your hands, and then shift back and put your weight on your heel, and then back. So we're just gonna flow with this at our own speed. Should feel a nice stretch on that left inner thigh, and then back up, and then down, and then back up, and then down. Let's do 2 more. So this is 1, and back down, and up, and then back down. That's 2. Switching sides. Let's go, stick your right foot out, and then let's sit on our left heel as we rotate your right toes towards the ceiling, and then back down, and then rotate, and back down. Again, just kind of flow through this movement. Feel that nice stretch on that right inner thigh, and then back onto your hands, and then sit back onto that left heel, and then back. So wherever you are, let's do 2 more. So back onto your hands, and then back down, and then onto your hands for our last one, and back down. Perfect. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna open up the front portion of our body because we're sitting majority of the day. So what I want you to do is to sit on your heels for me, put your right hand down, and then reach up. As you lift your bum up off of your heels, you should feel a nice stretch in both quads as well into this left hand that's reaching back. And then sit back down on your heels, and then go to the opposite side and reach back, and then back down. So we're just going to flow from one way to the other side. And again, don't forget to squeeze your bum at the top to help open up the front portions of our hips. And reach. And then reach. And then reach. And wherever you are, let's just do 1 more each side. 1 and 2. Perfect. So let's move down to the ground. Let's get into our 90-90 pose. This is one of my favorite. So what you're gonna do is put your right leg in front, your left leg in back, again at this 90-90 position. I want your hands in front of you. I want you to sit nice and tall and kind of arch your lower back for me. It's really safe to arch your back in this position. Don't worry about that. The most important thing that I want you to remember in this pose is that you're keeping a tall or a long spine. So you're gonna keep that spine as straight as you possibly can with a slight arch in your lower back. So now what we're gonna do is you're gonna think about bringing your chest towards the ground in front of that right leg. So most people just kind of bend in this position. Don't do that, okay? So let's keep a nice tall spine and think about our sternum or our chest going towards the ground in front of us. And you should feel a nice stretch in that right hip. Should feel really good. Take a couple of deep breaths in this position. In and out. Perfect. And if you can go a little bit further, keep your chest and your spine nice and long and lean a little bit further. Take a deep breath in and out. Perfect. Let's switch sides. Let's go left leg forward. Again, same parameters. Sit nice and tall, kind of arch your lower back. Hands on the ground in front of you and lean forward towards the ground in front of that left leg. Feel that nice stretch in that left glute. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And lean forward for me. A little bit more as long as you're keeping that spine nice and long. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Feel a nice stretch in the glutes on that left side. All right, last stretch for the upper body. So we're gonna kind of open up our chest. So you can sit on your heels or sit crisscross, whatever you like. So you're gonna sit nice and tall, make sure these shoulders are back. You are gonna clasp your hands behind you and then just lift them up towards to the ceiling. Making sure that we're sitting nice and tall. Don't bend over or you won't feel a nice stretch in your pecs or your biceps in this position. And then again, let's all just take a nice deep breath in and then out. One last time, take a nice deep breath in and out. And shake it out. So that was your quick 10-minute movement mobility session. I hope you join me next week for, again, a continuation of these sessions. If there is a body part or an area that you want me to focus on in the next session, don't be shy to just drop it in the chat or send me a DM and I'll make sure I target the session for you next week. Hope you guys have a great rest of the Tuesday and I'll talk to you guys later.